How's it going, everybody? Today is a big day for Guilty Gear. So they just dropped the patch notes and the Jacko starter guide, pretty much. So first we're going to look at the starter guide for Jacko, and then we're going to look at the patch notes, because this one's pretty quick. She's a lot different than I expected she would be, and she's a lot, I guess, not easier. Like, her game plan is definitely more, like, easy to understand what's going on, for sure, compared to her exit version. So let's take a look, right?
Changing servants. Take control of the ever-changing battlefield as you go on the offense.
You can see, like, her offense still relies on the minions a lot, and she kind of uses the minions to get in, and she kind of creates some pressure, but the way the minions come out and some of her moves are definitely way different in this game. So we're going to look.
Summon servant. This move summons a servant. Servant gauge is required to summon them.
So huge change, right? Huge dynamic change to her overall, right? So the servant gauge was not an exerd. Before, she would just summon these houses. She can have 3 of them, and then they would just pop out servants, you know, over a set period of time, right? You don't really have to think about it. They just come out and they do their thing, and they have like HP on them. In this game, she has 3 servants, and she has a servant gauge. So, you know, you have to manage it a little bit more. You can't just like throw the houses out and they just pop out and you do whatever you want. This time, her servants are a little bit more like important to her compared to Exerd.
You can use servants as projectiles by hitting them with an attack.
So you can still hit them now. Well, I guess it's a little bit different because you couldn't really hit them in Exerd. You can throw the houses and stuff. But like I said, the servants are more important, so she can hit them, and she has a bunch of different ways to hit them or throw them at you.
Servants disappear either when an opponent's attack hits them or after a set period of time.
As you see, they kind of chain together too.
Pick up servant. This move picks up a nearby servant.
So this is very similar to her Exerd form, just in terms of her picking them up. Instead of the houses, she picks up the servants directly.
Not block while lifting the servant, but you can dash backwards.
It's pretty much like identical to Exerd.
Throw servant. This move throws a servant forward that you've picked up.
Also very similar to Exerd, how she throws them, her arc.
Once thrown, moving forward in a curved line. Release servant. This move releases a servant you've picked up.
So this is interesting, right? I don't think she had this in Exerd, but it's going to come into play in a second, as
Once
you see.
Released, the servant falls to the ground at your location. You can use a servant to start your offense by hitting them with an aerial attack.
So this is interesting because, you know, she has the servant like in her hands, right? When she like summons them. So if you get a knockdown here, you see right here, right? So like, let me back up a little bit. So when Jacko gets a knockdown, right, off of this, cancels in the servant, right? The servant like startup on like summoning them is pretty quick.
After releasing them,
lets them go, does some offense. It has on the way down, it gives you some block stun. So
yeah.
I can see that pretty like standard way to get your offense with Jacko, or at least get the servants out like during offense if they're not on the screen yet.
Recover. This move collects all servants that are currently summoned.
And of course, you get the meter back, of course.
Refills once they've been recalled. Servant gauge is required to activate this move.
I'd like to see you do need some gauge. So the gauge comes into play a lot. She's definitely not as easy as she was in Exerd, for sure. She has a lot more like micromanaging to do.
Attack command. This move causes all currently summoned servants to attack.
So this is the interesting part. Not only does she kind of like chain them together through attacks of her own, they also have their own commands. Like kind of like a pseudo puppet character style thing. So she has this one, she has a couple others.
As it launches the opponent on hit, you can follow up with a combo. It also,
as you see, all of them attack at once, right? So you can't like individually pick which one you want to do. They just all attack, or they all do the other commands as well.
As a poke or in setups due to its fast startup.
The hitbox seems pretty good. They kind of seem like an upward arc. And you can do it while they're holding him. This is pretty. I like this.
And recovery.
The minions are funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you ever see how like they kind of kick their feet? Well, like watch the minions' feet right here.
Servant.
They're just dangling. They're pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie.
Gauge is required to activate this move.
It's the combos, the sandwich combos, little puppet setup.
Command. This move creates a barrier around all servants' current.
So this is interesting. So in Exord, she had the barrier, and it was a projectile barrier. In this game, it doesn't. She doesn't have the barrier, but the minions do now. So she kind of the minions kind of have like a parry, similar to like Anji's, like you know, when he spins around, that kind of parry style. You'll see it.
Summoned. When the opponent attacks a servant with,
you see how they get blown back, which means Jacko can just run up on you, do some free hits.
Their barrier up, it causes the opponent to crumple. This works well against opponents who try to get rid of servants by attacking them. You can follow up with Forever Elysion.
Like that RNG, that kind of RNG is really good, honestly. The fact that like you don't know if she's gonna throw them at you and attack, or she's gonna defend thinking you're gonna counterattack, or like trying to mash out of something.
On driver while the opponent is stunned. Servant gauge is required to activate this move.
Goes in the super.
Countdown. This move causes all currently summoned servants to explode. The servants
So this is very similar to Exor, except it was on the houses basically. So
vanish after the explosion, but it causes heavy damage. It takes time before the explosion goes off, so buy some time.
They do some
with
decent damage too.
Normal attacks. Servant gauge is required to activate this move. Servant shoot, an attack that hits in front of Jacko. By hitting
soccer
servants
kick
with this move, you can send them flying far off. This works well as a poke at long range.
And they kind of chain together.
This move can be
similar to like how they do like with the normal hits. So this is pretty interesting too. The move is also used for like getting space, which is pretty important to her.
Cancelled into some special moves.
So that move is gonna be pretty important, and she can cancel it out into other special moves. So I'll go back. I'll show you guys again. So how she kind of does this little. I can fucking find it.
Range.
I'll just back up.
This move can be.
So you see how she does the kick as she cancels into the summon.
Cancelled.
It drops the minion. Kicks it again, right? Like she seems pretty good on paper, honestly, from just this preview.
Forever Elysion driver.
This is her wake up super. Her reversal super. It was in Exor too. Command throw, so it's pretty close range.
Throw. This move can be used in combos or to interrupt your opponent's offense due to the invincibility on startup. Be careful.
So she used to have a DP also, but I guess, you know, she can't have everything, right? So thankfully she doesn't. Even though I'm probably gonna play her as like a secondary at least. She just has this as her reversal
with
option.
This move, as it whiffs unless you are extremely close to the opponent. Cheer servant on.
So this is interesting. I'm curious. Okay, I'll just play it as this.
Grants a temporary buff to servants.
So you can buff the servants now, right? So in Exord, the houses over time would increase in level the longer they were out, right? But in this game, you have to buff the servants of using the super. So there's two buffs. So this one,
servants. The slash version makes servants invincible, meaning they no longer disappear when.
So now they do not disappear, unless like going over time. So you can't hit them basically. So they're basically just these invincible things that just keep hitting you, which I can see being extremely annoying. Like imagine all three servants are on top of you and she gets a knockdown and she does a super. Now you literally can't hit them, and she's on top of you. Like, oof, that's gonna be rough.
When the opponent attacks them. The heavy slash version makes the servant gauge recover very quickly, making it possible.
So this one's interesting. I don't see it being used outside of combos though. Like they show a combo here, but I feel like the slash version is way better, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see how useful it is.
Combination offense together with your servants.
To see like you're getting a combo and you're also rebuilding the gauge pretty quickly. I think that could be really good for combos.
Make good use of the servants you summon to create an opportunity to attack.
I think that's her 6P too. I'll back up a little bit so you can see her 6P. Her 2D is back, or it used to be her 3H, but like that kind of slide move, I guess is going to be her 2D, which is pretty good. She kind of relies on that knockdown to get, or either get space or get that knockdown. So let me back up a little bit more so you can see the 6P. I think this is 6P. Let's see again.
To create an
yeah, it looks like her 6P because it gave the counter hit for it too. It wouldn't be 5P. Yeah, her 6P seems pretty solid.
Create an opportunity to attack.
summon the servant. You get the sandwich situation. She's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. Honestly, she's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to play her. But here, let's play the rest of this out.
You can mix the opponent up with her dust attack or throw once you're in close range. If your opponent tries to prevent you from summoning servants, use standing kick or far standing slash as
Yeah, and her 5k is extremely good. Look at this 5k. Look how far this range is, like a slash.
standing kick
Look at that. Oh my god. And her 2D.
or far standing slash as pokes. Her sweep is also easy to use and has a lot of active frames. Her aerial dust attack can keep the opponent from approaching too.
Yeah, she's gonna be a lot of fun actually. I like this version of her way more than Exert, honestly. She definitely looks a lot more fun, a lot more freestyle than you just like slamming your face in with the servants. Like she kinda has a little bit more of a, I don't know, a little more complexity to her. So I'm excited to play her, honestly. My plan is to play her and Soul. Soul, so we're gonna look at the pack sense, right? Spoiler, Soul has been saved. Pretty much everybody's been saved. It didn't seem like they gave any hard nerfs this version. So I feel like it's gonna be pretty good if I learn her with Soul. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Alright, this video's been long enough. I'll see you guys later.
How can